When you ask a question, who am I? Or you're even asking a possible higher self, who are you in the mirror? Who are you? Who are you? Who am I? In the mirror, same one. When you ask a question, the mind sits up, gets dressed up for the occasion, and offers you so many answers. When this mind is seen through, it's just a possible fake. It gets a wee bit huffed and it turns its back on you. And it says, well, you know what, do it on your own. And that's the most blessed moment when the mind turns its back on you. Meaning the you. Meaning the recognition that you are here as a body, as a person, as an existing form. Meaning you, the mind, disappears. When the mind disappears, the mind tries to imagine what it would be like without my mind, without me. The speaker can only say, when you were 2 days old, you had no mind, no information, no knowledge, but that's what it's like. The baby doesn't even know it's a form, doesn't even know it's separate from the room, the parents, doesn't even know what separation is. The umbilical cord being cut is the first sign of that mind having to be introduced. Otherwise the baby would just lie dormantly. And have no intent. So when the mind turns its back, goes on vacation, something is controlling you. Something that is controlling that what you are not. Something is controlling that what you are not, because you are not. You are simply not. So many speakers on YouTube experiencing there's nothing happening, there's not, this wow, non-duality, I'm everywhere, like space. Everywhere like space. If, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, in this space, something mysterious enters this space, and it's not you. But it's not you. Because you're not what you have, mind has told you you are. So all information, all understanding, all knowledge, all recognizing attributes from eyes, ears, brain, are dysfunctional. They are serving you no. They're serving no purpose to what is taking place. The senses and the emotions exist, but when the mind makes something out of them, they exist as something, as sight, as sound, as taste, but they're all the same. They all travel back to the sensation. I taste and I see and I smell the food. But they're all going back to I. They're all arising from the same source. And in their togetherness, when the taste, the smell, and the image all disappear, they become the source again. And it's a fact in a physical life. That's the source of newborn energy. The source gives life to the body, the senses, the emotions. And that what we are made up of, this earth, 70% water, gives source to the body remaining here. I've kind of moved away from when the mind disappears, turns its back, there's a sense of space, there's a sense of source, there's a sense of existing. But there's no mind to explain what you are, if you are anything, what this space is. And when this mysterious voice, or mysterious light, or mysterious whatever it is that you're fortunate or unfortunate to encounter, it will leave you incredibly pure, incredibly beyond even the space, even the source. Not the source of what we imagine as a God, but your whole source, your whole place of being. And when this merges with you, the source, the space, that's that profound moment that Christ speaks about, that what you would call meeting, what he would call meeting with his Father. You can call it anything you like, because your mind will want to call it, want to take ownership of it. And this is the whole, I wouldn't say problem, but the whole misconception. When a being sits and has obviously been incredibly touched by something far, far deeper than the mind can make something out of, it cannot talk about it because mind wants to take ownership. It's not the mind that wants to take ownership, it's your conditioned brain that has always stored, even through this war, where the brain took a back step. It was frightened of what would happen. But this brain didn't lose the information of your past. It just paused for that moment. Because when this moment of that profound godliness enters the space that you are, everyone runs for cover, even the brain. Pause, shock, done, job done. So when a speaker like this speaker comes on and attempts to share the unshareable, it can only share it with images I could draw on the wall, as some speakers do. It can only share it by words, through language. I haven't met a speaker yet that tries to share it through senses or smells. Scientists try and share it through sounds, music, sounds. But you can only share it through either pictures or words. And when you use the word, when this moment took place, some minds, even your own mind, can say moment, time. The association with moment as time, because that's how it's made up. A moment, a moment, a moment. When the mind came in to the room, once this experience of this voice, that immaculate, incredible, wholesome, tranquil love, when the mind came in and said, oh, I get it, as it seen the trees moving simultaneously. Every moment is the same. The mind was speaking about repetition, about time. And this voice got so angry, it shouted, exploding the whole existence of this being. No, one moment. Meaning, mind, get out of the room. You'll not understand. You'll never understand. And this one moment, it reveals everything. And of course, you sit here and you know everything. But you can't explain it to anyone because you have to use the words of mind, the conditioned words of human. So therefore the monks, they chant Om. That one moment, O-M, or A-U-M, I am. A-um, A-um, I am. Om. That's what I am. Om. They replicate it with sound. They replicate it with no words. Now they replicate it with no imagery. But unless you sacrifice your life to that monk world, that Tibetan, and give up all this in the West that we think is valuable, the type of life is so much valuable. To sit and chant Om every day is not serving purpose to you or the king or the queen or the politicians or your family in this world if you're chanting. So like the speaker, we sit here meekly and feebly trying to share this moment. But to share it, you cannot use a word. When you say everything is space, it comes very close. When you say everything is source, it comes very close. But the word space is associated with the universe. The word source is associated with the mind's concept of a God. Everything is nothing. It has an association with an opposing value of something. So it has to be, and the mind searches for a quality of nothing. When you say everything is free, mind associates that a prisoner coming out of a cell and being free. So the words are meek, feeble. They're just an attempt to describe that what can only be experienced. And I leaves you with the experience. So it's not the speaker saying to you, I leave you and going away with the hope that you find this experience. The I that you are leaves. It leaves something, a possible you, with a possible experience. You see the misconception, the misinterpretation of language in books. If you take away a comma in a specific line, it reads completely differently. If you put a comma in, it reads completely differently. We create multiple meanings, multiple ways of trying to understand that what cannot be understood by a mind. And that's my final lesson. If you try and understand this unspeakable, this whole incredible love. The minute you say love, you see, this is an association with two people, a meeting, a hug, or a tender kiss. You can't even call it a pot of love because you think liquid. Pot of love, it must be very, fluidy. It is the indescribable. And there's not a you, the mind, that discovered the indescribable. The mind is trying to understand. It wants to know because it loves you so. Mind loves its way, loves you in a way that is a very human way. But that what entered you loves you in a completely incredibly devoted and sacred way. So you become the sacred space. But don't associate with emptiness. Don't associate with self. Don't associate with the universe. Because it's none of that. You hear religions and they have decided to say, you know what, as mind, we need to make a stamp on this. So the Vedantas call it self, this moment. The Buddhists call it emptiness. The Christians call it God. And every other religion has a name for it. But it's the nameless. You've been touched by the nameless. That's all you can say. Whatever I am, as this moment has been touched by something profound. And it will never, ever, ever be separate again. Thank you.